You know something that's not talked about enough is when moms enable their sons. I just don't get it. I'm like, my son will never disrespect a woman the way that I've been disrespected in my past. And I'm gonna make sure he's put in check, that he treats his woman right. Because some of these moms out here be like protecting their sons when their sons are in the wrong. It just don't make sense to me. I don't get it, because I just don't think that should be a thing. Like, moms, you gotta discipline your boys. I know you got that mama bond with the boys. Trust me, I have a son. I know. But don't you want them to be respectful? Don't you want them to treat their future wife better than you were treated? This needs to stop. Like, this is a generational curses, a generational trauma, the generational abuse. It needs to come to an end.
If you're a mother concerned about your adult son going through a lot of the things that I'm explaining in my videos, and you're reaching out asking if you can still help them, I want you to know, I know your heart's in the right place. I know this. I know you're coming out of love. But now that your boy's an adult, he's got to take ownership of his own problems. It doesn't matter what he went through. He had you, whether he had you in his life or you just came in his life, and you had a great relationship, you had a poor relationship, is now up to him. He's an adult. There is no more blaming other people. And if you keep being his punching bag, that's all you're ever going to be. What you can do for your boy is to constantly try to better yourself, live the best life, show him what true happiness is, and always be there and ready to love, but to make him understand that there are boundaries and that you won't be disrespected. Now, look, this is how I put it to my clients, to my family members, to friends who come to me and ask for advice about what they would say, somebody that treats them bad, but they know that they're in a bad place. This is how I explain it. I say that person you know is drowning. He's drowning in a pool, and you know this, so you go to the side of the pool and you say, here, I got a life preserver, let me throw it in. All you need to do is grab that and I'll pull you out. You just need to hold on. I'll pull you out and I'll do the work to get you from drowning. But that person keeps saying, no, I want you to get in this pool and drown with me. Now, we all know when we put it like that, that's not going to be helpful for anybody. All it's going to do is take two people. It's going to kill two people now. No matter, you, moms, you have the right to have gone through what you've gone through and do your own healing. You can't let the guilt of what happened with your boy, he's an adult, he's still alive. He's obviously resilient enough to get through whatever he's gone through, but he needs to switch his mindset now. He needs to understand, if he wants to be a man, that you can't blame anybody else. You, yourself, how much stuff have you been through? And yet you go on and you lived life. You maybe didn't raise your kids exactly how you hoped to. You didn't give them the love, the time, the attention, the lessons that you had hoped to. But you went through what you went through. You don't blame your kids. You shouldn't be blaming others. So remember, somebody who's constantly trying to make you feel bad, who's trying to hurt you, who's trying to blame you, they're just drowning in that pool, and they don't want to be saved. They just want to take you down with them, and that's not helpful for them or you. As always, these videos are made with nothing but love and respect, the utmost respect for all you who ask those questions, who comment, and are vulnerable enough with strength to put you and what's going on in your life out there. Much respect.
I just love my son so much. He's just the best. He's so strong and handsome and so smart. My daughter. Oh, fuck. I do have one of those, don't I? Well, fuck that. My daughter, she's just got the nastiest attitude. I mean, she's always talking back. She's just so sassy. But my son, he doesn't do anything wrong. He doesn't do anything. I hope that whatever girl thinks that she's going to replace me one day in his life knows that he'll always have me as his first love. Mommy will always be the first one that ever made him happy, that ever just... There's no girl that can replace me. Why do you keep mentioning my daughter? What about her? I don't even fucking know that bitch like that. I forget that she's even there, honestly. Yeah, my son, he's been married for like 5 years, but it's not gonna last long. I mean, she's not better than me, so like he's gonna come crawling back to me and everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Daughter. I keep forgetting about her. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, she doesn't mean shit to me. Yes, my son still lives with me at 40 years old. It's okay. I mean, I wash all his clothes. I cook for him, you know. I even cuddle with him sometimes just to make him feel safe. But like, my daughter, fuck her. She's been out since she was like 18 years old. I don't give a fuck about that. But my son, oh my God.
And you know, a lot of people don't talk about the damage that comes from having a male-centered mother. A lot of people don't talk about the damage that comes from having a male-centered mother. Whether you're a boy or whether you're a girl, it does not matter. When you have a male-centered mother, you will find yourself looking for love in all the wrong places because your mother was never able to give you that love. Your mother was too busy chasing men. Your mother was too busy chasing dicks. Your mother was too busy worried about the men in her life as opposed to worrying about and making sure that you felt loved, seen, and valued. Nobody talks about that. You know, and I'm going to speak on, when I say nobody, I mean myself too, because I'm always speaking about men and I'm always speaking about fathers. Let's speak about the mothers. Let's speak about the damage that comes from having a male-centered, self-absorbed mother. Let's speak about it. Because I know too many grown-ass men that were raised by male-centered mothers that ended up horrible men. I know too many grown-ass women that were raised by male-centered mothers that ended up male-centered themselves because they thought to themselves, well, that's how my mother was and that's how I need to be. Well, my mother did this, well, my mother did that, and I loved her and she loved me, but that's how I need to be too. No. Somebody that will stay with a man that's mistreating their children, whether those are his kids or not, that's a male-centered woman. She doesn't value her kids. She doesn't value herself. She doesn't love herself enough to get up and leave a situation that is harmful to her or her children. She's male-centered. Somebody that will go to the ends of the earth and battle everybody around them, their children included, for the men that they're dealing with, is a male-centered woman. She does not value, respect, or love herself or her children enough to stand up and get the fuck on. Somebody that will hold a grudge and stand firm on their boundaries and hold a grudge with their children, but allow a nigga to do any and everything to them, allow a nigga to treat them, is a male-centered bird-ass bitch.
These are the mothers that no matter what their son do, it's never their son's fault. Their son could be beating somebody's child up, and now they're on social media writing, oh, they're always trying to bring down men. They're always trying to... Or maybe your son is abusive. These are also moms who put all the burdens and the responsibilities on their daughters, but have no responsibilities or expectations for their sons. They take care of their sons, they clean up for their sons, they feed their sons, and their sons have no responsibility of their own. And then those same sons grow up to be terrible people. Centered woman is a woman that does not have the ability to see any wrongdoing in male actions. These women are also known as pickmeish, meaning their sole thoughts and opinions on things are formulated to get the male approval and the male attention to be picked and chosen and to be desirable.
There are few things more damaging to a child than a male-centered mother. And I won't be explaining further.
Yeah, could you grab my coffee? I'm going to need it for this one. So let's talk about a family dynamic that often destroys relationships before they even start. When a mother turns her son into an emotional husband. So this is the first part of what will probably be a 4-part series on enmeshment involving a mother and a son. So today we're not just talking about a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy. This is enmeshment, parentification. And in severe cases, it's what clinicians call emotional incest. So you have to first understand that when a parent lacks boundaries, the child simply becomes an extension of the parent, emotionally, financially, psychologically. This mother doesn't just rely on the son, she absorbs him. No independence, no separate identity, no emotional privacy. So as a result, her son becomes her therapist, her provider, her protector, and her surrogate partner. All roles that as a son, he was never meant to carry. So there's plenty of research out there that shows that parentification often leads to depression, boundary issues, people pleasing, and distorted attachment patterns. So when a child grows up being held responsible for an adult's emotional stability, something tragic happens. He learns, I exist to meet the needs of someone else. So we see this in adult men who simply suppress their own needs, confuse love with obligation, often choose partners who also drain them, feel guilty anytime they choose themselves, stays loyal to the dysfunction, and often sabotage healthy relationships. Not because they don't love you, but because freedom feels disloyal. So if a man has survived enmeshment from his mother, he doesn't bring a partner into his life. He brings her into the family system that he's trapped in. So you're not just dating him, you're also dating his mother who refuses to let him grow up. This is a man who can't set boundaries with his mother. He hides the relationship to avoid upsetting her. He financially supports her at the expense of his own life. His mother competes with you. He shuts down, becomes conflict avoidant, and emotionally numb. And he chooses the role he's always known: caretaker, rescuer, and emotional sponge. Now, this is where you as a partner often makes the mistake. It's not immaturity, it's conditioning, and decades of it. I often say, show me a man who has been enmeshed with his mother, and I'll show you a woman with a shitload of empathy. These women are nurturers, healers, fixers, and then they end up attracting men who never learned emotional independence. And again, none of this is weakness, it's wiring. And we already know that often two wounds find each other before either has emotionally healed. Now here's the truth, but my goal is not to piss anyone off. Again, my job as a relationship coach and counselor is to break cycles and disrupt negative patterns. You cannot outlove a lifetime of enmeshment. You cannot compete with a mother who still treats her son like a partner. And you cannot rescue a man who has been trained and conditioned to rescue everyone but himself. And if this man has never been allowed to simply be a son, he won't know how to be a partner.
Those female relatives who are male-centered, you got to be careful with them. Keep them away from your man. If you go to the bathroom, fuck it. Say, baby, come on, walk me to the bathroom. Because when your female cousins who are male-centered know you got a man in your life, that intimidates them. Because some of these bitches really be wanting what you be having. Smiling all up in your face, giving you all these hugs. Oh, hey, boo. Hey, cousin. Hey, sis. Give me love. But they not showing you love by trying to sneak up on your man. I live by a certain set of principles. If a relative of mine has dated somebody and I know about it and they break up, why would I go and try to run up on him? That's some serious fucked up shit right there. And if that is you, get your mind right. I don't care if you don't like this girl. It's just still nasty because he was already passed down from your cousin. Female cousins who genuinely love you and respect you, they won't move this way. But those male-centered females in your family, they will move this way. And I'm not going to sit here and say they don't know no better. These bitches know better, but they just want what you got. They like that attention from men, especially a man that's not theirs.
Male-centered mothers talk down, belittle, and mistreat their daughters. But when it comes to their sons, they put them on a pedestal and treat them way above their own daughters. They treat their sons like a fucking king while treating their daughter like a damn peasant.
The realization of just how male-centered your narcissistic, toxic mother is something that I will never forget. I said this before in another video. I was never oblivious to the way that my mom was, but as a child and as a young adult, I had to put the blinders on just to be able to get by. And now that I'm an adult, I look back and realize the amount of that my mom did that is not normal for an adult. And I remember one time she was visiting, this was just before my wedding, so all of these things had been like happening before my wedding, and my wedding was like the final straw. That's when I cut my mom out. One of the things that happened was she had told me that my brother's biological father had been reaching out to her and messaging her on Facebook. My brother's biological father is not in the picture whatsoever. He was physically abusive, he was an alcoholic, just a terrible person. 99% of the reason that I don't remember my childhood is because of that man. So when she told me that he had been reaching out to her, it was like a blow to the chest. So when she told me that he had been messaging her, I asked, is it to ask about my brother? And she was like, no, we've just been like catching up and talking for a while. And I literally looked at her and I said, are you fucking kidding me? To which then she started making all of the excuses in the book that he's a changed man and all of this. The man that reached out to you, not to inquire about his own son, but to talk to you only, is a changed man? Right. She wasn't even fazed by the fact that it bothered me so much. She didn't even really question why it bothered me so much, which I just feel like that's common sense. But she's the type to avoid all accountability because it's easier for her.
A lot wrong in today's society when it comes to women, and I feel like a lot of women who has children should not be male-centered. Like, you should be focusing on your kids, you should be focusing on your priorities, not saying that you can't, you know, spend time with your person, love your person, you know, share that, you know, love, and of course have your downtime. But a lot of women be putting men over their kids. And me personally, if I'm coming into a woman's life, and she, of course, me, I don't have any kids. So if I'm coming into a woman's life, me right off the bat, as how my mom raised me, because she was a single mother, your kids come before me. I need to impress your kid. Not only just you and your family or your mom or your dad, I need to impress your child, because if the child does not like me, this can't even function right, or this does not work. So a lot of women just be male-centered, and that's y'all problem. Like, everything y'all do, sleep, eat, shit, just men, and you just need to start focusing on your priorities.
Ma, did you know that my brother was literally dating somebody in the freaking 12th grade? He's 22 years old. In my school. Dating an 18-year-old. That's not weird to you? Why are you in your brother's business? Who cares if he's dating an 18-year-old? She's 18, she's legal. It literally says it. She could do whatever she wants to do. It don't matter if your brother's 22 years old. What is that, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? That's 5 years apart. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad to you? She's literally in the cafeteria right now putting freaking fries up her nose, acting like a walrus. And your son is at home playing video games with no job, no career, no ambition for nothing. And all you're doing is supporting him. And he's dating an 18-year-old. Do you not see the problem in that? If your brother is dating that girl, that's her parents' problem. If they had an issue, they should have said something. But guess what? They can't. She's 18 years old. I'm supporting him enough to make sure that he's good. I don't see why you have an issue with that. I'm 15. I have a job. He's 22. No job. But that's not the point. The point is you're okay with him dating an 18-year-old. She's still a child. And she just turned 18. Her birthday was like a week ago. Boys are going to be boys. They're going to date who they want to date. And whoever allows them as a woman to date them, that's their problem. With no job, no career, no car, no nothing. And that is why he dates younger girls. Because they are so easy to trick. He's 22 years old. He knows what he's doing. He's preying on her. Then she is dumb enough to fall for it. Because as a woman, you should always be on your P's and Q's. You're not going to blame your son, like, at all. No, I'm not. Because it's not his fault. It's hers. So, you know what? She could take that up with her and her parents.
Your mother is pissed that she had to give birth to you. Sidebar. If your mother was not abusive, please scroll past this video. It is not for you. I'm addressing those who have a narcissistic mother. She was abusive when you were a child, and she still continues to abuse you as an adult. If this video don't fucking apply to you or your mother, save your comments. Don't get in the comment section bragging about how wonderful your mom is, because that would make you a narcissist. Being insensitive to those of us that were abused. Stay the fuck out my comment section, okay? I'm happy that your mama was a wonderful person, but this ain't the time or the community for you and your bullshit. If your mother was truly a narcissist, a lot of us, including myself, know firsthand how vindictive and evil she can be. And I'm talking about early childhood, when you're 4, 5, 6 years old, she says some of the worst things to her children. When you grow up with a narcissistic mother, you'll have horrible memories of the shit that she has said and done to you as a child. Very traumatizing things. Because she is a narcissist, she does not have any love or empathy. She doesn't know how to love. She doesn't love herself, and she doesn't love her children. She gets out in the public around people. She'll get around your family, her coworkers, her friends, her inner circle, and she'll pretend to be a loving mother. She's putting on a performance. She's a great actress. However, when she gets behind closed doors, she starts bullying and abusing her children. That's because she doesn't love her children. Now let's go into early childhood when you're about 3, 4, 5 years old. And you can remember the things that your mother said that were horrible, very vindictive, verbally abusive things. One of those things that a narcissistic mother can say to her children to hurt them and cut them deeply is, I should have never gave birth to y'all. I wish I would have never had children. I should have got a fucking abortion. Y'all make me sick. Yes, these are things that an actual narcissistic mother says to her fucking children. If you don't believe me, read the comments by the end of the day. The comment section don't lie. Because I get tired of people coming to my page and acting like this isn't a big deal. When you could go through the comment section, you can see there's hundreds of thousands of people who have those types of mothers that are extremely abusive and they say horrible things to their children. Yes, your mama wishes she would have gotten an abortion. And I'll tell you why. Narcissistic mothers do not have children out of love. If your mama is truly a narcissist, I can assure you she was trying to trap your daddy. See, narcissistic men are not the only ones that trap women with pregnancy. It works the other way around with narcissistic women. If your daddy is a serial cheater, he's a whore, you know, he might have really good sex. He might have a lot of money. He might have been a drug dealer. If your mama's a narcissist, your mama will want to have a baby with your daddy so she can have a permanent spot in his life. She wants to trap him. She know your daddy ain't shit, but she'll still want to trap him. Or if your daddy was like my daddy, you know, my mama is on the darker side. Her skin color, she's a more darker tone. My daddy was high yellow, nice wavy hair, handsome man. And although my mother didn't have multiple baby daddies, one of the reasons why she wanted to get pregnant by my daddy is because he was light skinned and she wanted her children to be good looking because my father was good looking and light skinned, which would make my mama a colorist. Yes, narcissistic women are colorists. Narcissistic women do not want ugly children with nappy hair. They will verbalize it and say it out loud. They have an issue against dark-skinned children with kinky hair. So your mama won't even check your daddy's character to see if he's a piece of shit, if he's a dog, if he's a woman beater. All she cares about is if he has money, and if he don't have money, if he's good-looking, light-skinned with good hair, or if his family comes from money. She'll get pregnant off of that shallow shit right there. But the moment that she gives birth to you, let's just say you come out and you look just like your daddy. You're like the spitting image of your daddy. You smile like him. You have the same mannerisms as your daddy. Let's just say your daddy didn't stay with your mama. He moved on and got married to another woman. So now your mama's sitting up bitter. Or let's just say your daddy did stay with your mama, but he refused to work and get a job. He was like a deadbeat father, you know, or he constantly got on your mama's nerves and they got in a lot of fights and arguments. He was not being a leader of the household. Your mama had to pay all the fucking bills. Your mama will resent you. She will bully and punish you for the things that your father does to her. If your daddy's a piece of shit, she's going to punish you and blame you for it. Everything that your father does to hurt your mother, she will take it out on you. She did not give birth to you because she loved you. She gave birth to you to trap your daddy. She gave birth to you because your daddy's good looking. She gave birth to you because your daddy comes from money. One of those 3 reasons, but it was never for love. That's why your mama has no problem telling you that she should have gotten an abortion. She has no problem abusing you. She has no problem calling you horrible names as a child, treating you like shit as a child, because she blames your father. She just needs you to be her personal punching bag. Once you realize that your mama's a narcissist and you become an adult, it is your job to cut her off and go seek healing and therapy, because she's never going to change. She will always resent you because of the man that you come from, your daddy. And she will also blame you. Your mama does not pursue her goals in life. She does not follow her dreams or her goals. She will blame you. Another reason why she resents giving birth. Another reason why she will tell you to your face she should have gotten an abortion. That's the life of a narcissistic mother.
I love you, son. I can't wait until you take me to that new restaurant in Midtown. Just me and you.
And Whitney, Mom. Whitney's coming with us.
You bought her jewelry and didn't even think about your own mother.
I got you. You know you my number one. My bad, babe. That was mom.
What's up with you and your mama? I feel like we're in some weird competition. She's giving side chick. If you're cracking your mom, just say that so I can be out.
Have y'all noticed that male-centered mothers are less controlling and kind of nicer when they have a man? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But when mine had one, baby, she said yes to everything. I could finally go places. That man had to have a hot meal kind of every day. So that's when she cooked and cleaned the most. When they have a man, they buy you gifts more. The answer might have been no to the gift at first, but one day she all jolly and happy and shit bringing you the gift. When they had a man, they acted less miserable. They was happy as fuck. I used to think like, damn, is this what we've been missing the whole time? You act ugly, miserable, and mean on all them other days, but you bring this man around and you jolly and you happy and you, bitch, please. I don't know, these men be giving these male-centered bitches a little high, a little boost or something. I was like, maybe we could keep you around for a little longer. This type of dynamic is filled with like a bunch of highs and lows, but when the highs are high, baby, they are high. You sometimes tend to say, fuck the lows. I started to not like my mama out of a relationship. Every time she got out of a relationship and she reverted back to them old ugly ass ways, I used to tell her, girl, you need a man. That statement wasn't true. She really needed herself because she don't love herself. But shit, to stay off my back, bitch, bring them on.
One thing a narcissistic stepmom can't stand is the unconditional love between the father and his own child. And because she can't destroy the love, she would do everything in her power to try to destroy the bond. To him, she plays the role of the perfect partner, but to his daughter, she reveals her true face. And oftentimes, she takes advantage of the fact that her husband is just oblivious to the fact that she's evil. The evil stepmom can't stand the bond between the father and daughter. She envies, resents it, and will stop at nothing to try to break that bond apart.
Put a figure down. If your dad dies of cancer, 3 months later, your mom is engaged to a new man named Michael. Michael is allegedly a successful businessman in Houston. He's retired, loves his kids, takes care of them. Wife is also passed. Your mom decides that she wants to move into the next step in their relationship, and she wants to move in with him secretly. And one day, you wake up and your mom is gone. She has left. It's you, 2 other siblings, and her grandchild living at the house. She says that she's going to continue to pay the bills and that we have until June to figure our things out. So 2 months pass by and we start getting letters in the mail that the water bill's not paid, the electricity's not paid, and that they're going to be cutting it off soon. So you check the account. The account is in my name and it is over $1,500 behind. You check the internet, it's over $700 behind. The water bill, $400 behind. And the home, she has no rental contract to, and she hasn't paid in 3 to 4 months. Being with Michael, and she claims to be living her bestest life. But then you also find out that she has stolen $50,000 to $60,000 from her oldest brother, $10,000 from her little sister that she's supposed to use to finish her last 2 semesters of college, and like I said, over $1,500 in bills in my name without my knowledge. You text your mom, you call your mom, you're trying to figure out what's going on, your siblings are texting her, calling her, no response, no response. 3 days later, she sends a message saying that she's overwhelmed, she doesn't know how we ended up in this place, and that there's basically nothing she can or is willing to do about it. That we are on our own, and hopefully we find stable footing before we get evicted in the next 30 days. That her life isn't as peachy keen as we think it is, and that Michael is an abusive alcoholic who's also dying of cancer. that he doesn't want to be with her anymore, and he gave her until January 30th to leave his home and to pay him back any money he has given her. And now you and your siblings are basically on the verge of homelessness, out in the streets, and she doesn't care. My mom stole $60,000 from my brother, $10,000 from my sister, and put almost $1,500 worth of bills in my name. Part 2, background and update. So, background. Yes, we are adults. My youngest 2 siblings are 20, 21 years old. Me, I haven't lived with my parents since 2017. I have been financially independent from them. I have been married. Okay? I came here March 2025 because I'm getting a divorce and it became unsafe for me and mine to stay there. Now, 3 weeks after moving in, my grandmother died. My grandmother made my mom the executor of her will, but she left her home and estate to my oldest brother who she raised. My mom, we had no idea of this. So one of my grandma's men gave my mom a check for $60,000 to pay off the mortgage on my grandma's home so that we can have a family home or sell it to use it as an inheritance. Once my mom found out that the home would not be in her name, she took the check and left. My dad died May 28th of 2025. We buried him June 13th. She got $50,000 to $75,000 in life insurance from him. He told my mom before he died passed that he wanted my sister to get $15,000 so that she could finish her last 2 semesters of college. My mom told my sister she would give her 10. My sister has never received the 10. She said she'd pay her school, she'd buy her a car. None of those things has happened. My mom, in turn, gets her teeth done and she buys herself a new car that she's already 2 months behind on rent on, and her teeth are falling out of her mouth as we speak. Now, June 13th, my dad died. June, the same month, her therapist says you should go to a grieving therapy course with other people. So my mom goes, and that's where she meets Michael, whose wife had passed 8 years prior. Now, her and Michael start talking every night on the phone. We inquire who she's talking to. She says it's Michael, it's just a friend. We have no issue with that. She says she's not ready to move on into a new relationship and that she's not ready to have any type of situationships because she feels called by God to remain celibate until she is remarried. I come from a very religious background, so that is not abnormal to hear. Now, July comes. Her and Michael start going out and dating. Every 2 weeks they go on a date, July and August. At the end of September, I asked my mom, are all the bills good? Because she told us we had until June, which is 1 year from my dad's passing, to all have our stuff together and to move out, which is fine with me because I am transitioning my life from being a stay-at-home to now being a single. So I'm just checking up on the financials because my mom has a history of not paying bills, not because of a lack of money, but because she just doesn't care. She spends the money on other things. It's part of her trauma. So she says that she's fine, everything's fine, that she's led a family longer than I, and that she has everything covered. So I believe her and we go along with it. The next day, my sister comes home from college. She comes back 3 to 4 days later, and of course, conversations ensue, arguments are had, and she demands we go to family therapy. We go to family therapy, and it makes things more tense. That's when she ends up blurting out that her and Michael are engaged and set to get married May 16th of 2026. Shock. Let her know that things are moving very fast, and that maybe she should check in with herself to make sure that this is what she wants. That triggered her even further, and that's when she let us know that she was moving out, that Michael said he would take care of all the bills until June, and that we just need to get our stuff together, and that she would no longer be here with us participating in the family. That was fine. She said she would be back for Thanksgiving, and that she wanted to spend Christmas, us as a family, with Michael's family as well. So Thanksgiving comes, she comes back, we have a seafood boil, things are okay. I braid her hair for her because I am a braider. And she goes back. I did let her know that I wasn't comfortable spending my first Christmas without my father, with a new man stepping into our lives, and that I needed more time for me and mine. She said, okay. And that is the last time I've communicated with my mom. I have not heard from her, got a text, got a call, anything. November, the grandchild was in the hospital for 5 days. She did not reach out until day 3 of being in the hospital and her grandchild fighting for their life. And she, no care in the world. December rolls around. That's when the internet cuts off. That's when my siblings check the account. So that's when they find out the account is pushing $700. We're paying, the bill is $260 a month. And she's 3 months behind. So in December, when they contact her, she pays one bill, and then I think a couple weeks later she pays the second bill. Then Spectrum says they didn't receive the money, the screenshot she sent us of her paying the bill. Spectrum says they didn't receive it. So now she's going back and forth with Spectrum. They ask for a copy of her bank account. She sends it. They still haven't turned the service on. My mom is a known scammer. She has stolen money from multiple jobs in the past, so she could have faked that. She's faked W-2s before. She does scamming. So these deposits or these payments don't have to be real. They might not be real, because this is what she does. And then I check the energy account, because when I was 20, I found out she put the energy bill in my name by seeing a bill with my name on it and asking her about this. She said she needed to do it. I let her know I was not comfortable with this. Multiple times she said she would take it out of my name, and she hasn't. And I've begged her, do not let this go into default in my name. There has been multiple close calls that I've had to contact her about and be very strict on her about what's going on under my name. I have warned her, if this goes into default, I will be calling the police. I've been saying that since I was 20 years old. So now that it's gone into default, they will be contacting. This will be off my name, because it's not me. None of my information besides my name is on the account. It's her phone number. That's her house, her address. When we contacted her about everything that's going on, she doesn't want to talk about it. She tells everyone that her mental health isn't okay and that everyone else is crazy. But the reality is, she's a scammer. She scammed her own kids. And as far as Michael being an alcoholic abuser, I don't know. I've never met the man. I've never talked to him. Anytime my sister's on the phone with my mom, if he comes around, she instantly says she has to get off the phone. That's all we know. My mom says he starts drinking at 3 p.m. By 7 p.m., he's out like a light. And in between 3 and 7, he whooping and tripping and talking to her crazy. That's all we know. But she claims she'd rather stay there than to come back here, because she knows she'll get evicted here. And there, he's not going to get himself evicted. He is financially stable. And money, we think that she gave it to him, because early on into the relationship, she was talking about how he flips house and things, and he wanted to go into business with her to flip a house. And she was saying if this works, that all her financial problems will be over. But we haven't heard anything about it since then. So we believe the scammer got scammed and tricked about her money, and now she's trying to figure out what to do next.